All right. So today's topic, Kajabi, build and automate your online marketing machine. I want to start off, with the premise that I understand a lot of you are not using Kajabi. And honestly, I'm hoping you might consider it by the time we're done with today's hour. But I have some other content planned throughout this month that I think might help you to better understand why I'm such a strong believer that even if you're not doing courses like I do, Kajabi is still an amazing option for just generally building your website and your marketing machine, whatever that actually looks like, right? So if you're not going to do courses or even videos, I still think it's a great solution. And I'm hoping to give you some examples today of why that might be. So first, I'll start with a question, and this is something that I've been talking about a lot lately, in terms of CFO and advisory services and what things I think it's important to be aware of. And so it's a simple question I want you to consider, which is the following. Do you know what your sales are for the last 30 days? Can you in an instant tell me exactly what that number is, or at least give me a rough idea, right? Do you know what that number is? I do, because it's the first thing I see when I log into Kajabi every day. And most days, it's the only KPI I need. That and how much cash is in the bank. And if that net sales 30-day number is up, it's great. I'm just going to keep going and keep trying to, do more of whatever it is that I'm already doing. If I see it dropping down, then it's time to hustle. It's time to think, what can I do to bring in more sales? Remember, sales solve most problems for most businesses. And so many people I talk to think Kajabi is expensive. I don't think it really is when you consider where it saves you money, as well as how much you can increase your efficiency when it comes to building that marketing machine. And it starts, the basic premise that it starts with is that to get more customers, you need to be in touch with them. I've talked about this a lot, the fact that if you're sort of relying exclusively on something like Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn or any social media platform, if you're relying on that as the only means of getting and staying in touch with people who are going to be interested in the products and services that you offer, then you're really leaving the fate of your business in the hands of a very large company that you have no control over and who frankly doesn't really care that much about you or me, right? They're playing a numbers game. They have algorithms that are determining what's going to be best for them. And so I really want to encourage people to make sure that you build your business, especially the marketing part of it, around a system that's designed to get you directly in touch with your customers. And what that looks like usually is that you're building a list, right? You're building that email list of people that you can reach out to and get in touch with. And a lot of what I'm going to show you today is sort of centered around that concept where I want to be able to first of all, I want to be able to build that list of people who are interested in talking to me, people whom I'm interested in talking to about how I can help them. And I want to be able to send them the right information, right? In other words, I don't want to send people information that's based on things they're not interested in. I want to find out what they're interested in and send them information about those subjects, right? So again, to get more customers, you need to be in touch with them. And you need a system for contacting the right customers with the right information. Now, when someone opts into one of my pages, and I'm going to share my screen now and start showing some examples. So when somebody opts into one of my pages, this is it. Just first name, last name, email, right? And I'm thinking seriously about condensing this to just name and email. I don't necessarily need the name split up like this, right? So when somebody opts in to one of my pages, and if you poke around on my website, you'll find that just about every page has this same opt-in form right at the top. It's called Get Updates. And what happens when somebody opts in through one of those forms, it's putting people on my general list. And hold on, because I still have more things apparently I need to get logged back into after clearing my browser history, including Kajabi itself. So bear with me 1 second. Okay. Back on track here. So when somebody opts in through this form or any of the others that say get updates on my site, it's going to subscribe you to my general list. And it's also going to subscribe the person to an email sequence, okay? Now, so here's an example of what that email sequence looks like. These are very easy to create. All I have to do is click here to add another email in the chain. So what happens immediately when they subscribe is they get this welcome email that, you know, says welcome to my list, well, and explains about Nerd Buzz, which is essentially my blog. It's the free stuff that's on my website that you have access to, but you do need a free account on my website to get access to. You know, for years I had like giveaways that I would give away in exchange for people's email addresses. You know, I'd give you my free video on how to clean up your books in QuickBooks Online, or how to audit your books, or whatever you want to call it. And eventually I kind of sized it down to, if you want to access the free content on my website, that's where you're going to get detailed write-ups with screenshots and downloads. And so it's like a whole bunch of stuff that I'm effectively giving away in exchange for an email address. And you can still get to Nerd Buzz and still not be subscribed to my emails and still have the access. In other words, I'm not forcing you to take my emails, but I do want people to, I do want that sort of a gateway, if you will, that people have to pass through to get into my system and get the good content, right? So I had somebody reach out to me recently on Twitter and suggest that he thought it was a bit, quote unquote, heavy-handed to require a login to access my blog. But to me, this is a lot more than just a blog. It's a very robust resource. And so I chose to ignore him. I think I did write him one brief reply just explaining, look, I think there's a lot of value in there, but I'm not going to sit there trying to convince him. I don't care. This is what I've chosen to do, and I have a whole page on the site that you get a link to when you subscribe that explains the whole sort of purpose behind what I'm doing here. But back on focus for today's subject at hand, you're going to get this first welcome email that kind of explains what you've just sort of signed up for. And then it says, even in this email, that I know a lot of you people who are opting in for this are very interested in my Bulletproof Bookkeeping with QuickBooks Online course. So starting tomorrow, I'm going to send you one email a day with a link to one video each day that gives you sort of a mini course that gives you an idea of what the Bulletproof Bookkeeping with QuickBooks Online course is all about. And so that's what happens. So immediately when they subscribe, you get the email, the welcome email. Day 1, you get video 1. Day 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So this took a lot of work to build, but once it's built, it's automated and it's easy and it's seamless. And the other thing is, so you see here where it says there's 3 subscribe triggers. Well, what that means is there's 3 different ways that somebody will get subscribed to the sequence. One is the tag Seth's list gets added to the contact. Another one is the form is submitted. That's called get updates, right? In this case, both things are actually going to happen. When they submit that form, they're going to get assigned that tag. So either way, they're going to get subscribed to this, through one or both of these. But you're not going to get subscribed twice. Kajabi's smart enough not to, send you duplicates of every email. And then finally, there's another form I have called the Bulletproof Bookkeeping Prospects Pipeline Form, which was something I had set up when I was doing the relaunch of the course last April to capture people who came in specifically through this one landing page. So this is that cues you into another important thing about all this, which is that I have incredibly robust tracking. I can tell exactly how somebody got to me, what page they got to me through, and so on and so forth, which really helps me understand what's working and what's not working. So because marketing is an art, it's about tweaking things and changing things. Sometimes it's subtle changes to the way you word something. Other times it's a change to the workflow itself that all of a sudden something pops and you get a whole bunch of people who are interested. And I have noticed one unsubscribe trigger configured here, which is what? If they sign up for the course. Once you've signed up for the course, there's no need to keep sending you these emails because you're already in, you're sold, and the course has everything that's in these emails and a whole lot more. So as soon as somebody signs up and pays for the Bulletproof Bookkeeping course, they get unsubscribed, not from my list, but from this email sequence, right? So if they're on day 3 and they subscribe, they won't get days 4, 5, or 6. Interestingly enough, what I've noticed, because again, I have access to the data, most people go through all 6 days, and on day 6, they'll sign up. The people who do sign up, it's clear that they've been through all 6 days, that they're kind of going through it, and when they get to the 6th day and they know that's it, there's no more, unless they sign up, then they go ahead and sign up. So I learn a lot because of what Kajabi provides me with, right? So opting in, email sequence, really, really powerful stuff. And yes, it's automated. It might seem impersonal, but keep in mind that any of you who get and read my emails know that I'm constantly encouraging you to do what? I've done it so much for so many years now that I have people who email me when I don't put this in my emails where it says bang that reply button, right? So that's what I encourage people to do. And of course, as soon as somebody bangs that reply button, I'm going to respond directly. It's going to be me actually responding to their email. And I do. I get a lot of people responding to those emails that I send out, even these introductory emails, all of which also have that call to action of, bang that reply button, let me know what's on your mind, because my objective is very simple. I want to help people. And in order to do that, I need to know what you need help with, right? And there's a lot of different people who come to my site from different sort of walks of life who need help with different things, right? I have a lot of accountants and bookkeepers who want help from me, learning from me about how to grow and build a bookkeeping or an accounting practice. But I also have a lot of, for example, real estate professionals who've caught my videos online that I've done on QuickBooks Online for real estate. And they come in because they want help learning how to manage their own bookkeeping. And they may even at some point want to come on and hire us to actually do the books for them, right? So bottom line, if somebody signs up for the Bulletproof Bookkeeping course, they're automatically unsubscribed from the sequence, but they're still on my list for the regular weekly emails. And at any given time, somebody can simply unsubscribe and they'll no longer get those emails, but they'll still have access to anything that they've signed up for, of course. And then recently, I launched a campaign to raise awareness about my upcoming Bulletproof Bookkeeping with QuickBooks Online for Real Estate Brokers course. And last Friday, I sent out my weekly email, which was entitled, Throw the Oatmeal on the Floor, right? And so here's what happened when I did that email. Let me just bring it up on screen. So Kajabi, of course, has the record of every email that I've sent out. Okay, and here it is. So when you're configuring these emails, you have a subject. The preview text is what kind of shows up in the headers in the person's inbox. So that's really important. You want to put something in there that's going to hopefully engage them and kind of encourage them to open up the email. Of course, the subject line should be designed to do that too. So some of you know I try to come up with some clever subject lines and titles that are designed to arouse curiosity. That's the whole name of the game here, is I want you to be curious enough to want to open up the email and read it. And of course, the only way I'm going to get you to want to keep opening up emails and reading them is by actually writing something for you that's interesting and useful, right? So I try my best to do that every single week when I send these emails out. Now, if you look at this email, you'll see in the second paragraph, there is this link here, right, that took you to the page that's got the recording of last Friday's Zoom that I did, which was on how to use Airtable for real estate brokers. Now, what you may not know is that what I configured behind the scenes for this email was an automation, okay? And let me just find it real quick for you so I can show you exactly what I did here. Kajabi has the ability to create all kinds of automations. Here it is. So basically this automation said, from that email, and I put the specific URL, that was included in the email. When that's clicked on, in other words, when somebody clicks this link here to go over to watch this video on Airtable for real estate brokers, the idea that I'm kind of approaching here is that this is somebody who clicks on this link is very likely interested in any content I have on the subject of real estate. So what Kajabi did on the back end, anytime somebody clicked on that link, is it added a tag to their contact profile for real estate. So it's very, very robust tracking. And this way, now I know I can send an email out and I don't have to send an email to my whole list. I can segment that list based on anybody with the real estate tag and target information to those people, only those that I know are interested in real estate related stuff, and say, hey, here's some more real estate content, or hey, my course is ready. And of course, what I'm going to do is every time I launch a course, especially a big one like this, is I'm going to do some kind of an early bird special where those who want to get in early will get it at a discounted price compared to what I'm going to charge, when it's sort of fully launched, right? So these automations are huge. To do this in another system would be very difficult because it's just hard to bring together all this kind of tracking unless you have a system like Kajabi that has all of the tracking in this one place, right? If I'm using MailChimp or Constant Contact to send emails out, it would be a lot harder to connect MailChimp to my website in such a way that it would be able to tell or pass the information through somewhere that when somebody clicks on this link, add this tag or whatever, it's just not going to be nearly as simple. And the other thing I can do here is I can segment whom an email goes out to based on which of my courses or products they've signed up for, right? So if you're using this just for your bookkeeping or accounting practice and you're sending out emails and building up your communication with your existing clients and prospective clients, you can do similar kinds of things where you can start tracking who's interested in what, right? And you can send an email. If you have a tag created for actual clients, you can send an email that's just going out to all of your clients. And I have a system like that too. When somebody eventually signs up for any of my monthly accounting services, where we're actually doing the accounting and bookkeeping for them, they are going to get tagged with the word client. So I know these are my active clients, and I can send emails, where I'm segmenting my list just based on who's an actual client of mine. And it could be just to let them know, hey, if you're an existing client, I have this other service you might be interested in, announcements, whatever you want. The point is I have one central place where it's easy to manage all of this, right? So again, that second link was was to the Airtable video that was on Airtable for real estate. So I created the automation that makes it easy now for me to track who's interested. The other thing I did was I created a landing page, which was also linked to in that email. And I'll show you that. And this landing page is obviously all about the real estate course that's coming up. And I'm not selling it yet. Nobody can sign up yet, but I got the artwork done. I actually created the artwork myself in Canva, and I'm not a graphic designer. That's just a testimonial for Canva. They made it really easy. And then I paid a graphic designer to get the artwork on, on top of the book, so to speak. Kajabi makes it really easy to build these pages. It's as simple as inserting an image, but then they give you the infrastructure where it's really easy. I can click on this, and it just scrolls you down the page to where here's the introductory video, and then just here's more copy and an opt-in form. So what do you think happens when somebody submits this opt-in form? They get tagged real estate. So there's two ways now that I get people into that segment within my website. Either they clicked on a link that's pointed directly at something that suggests they're interested in the subject matter, or they fill out a form. And these forms are really easy to create in Kajabi. It took me 2 seconds to create this. And again, just the automations are just beautiful. Next, so the landing, by the way, and as of I think yesterday when I looked, just based on that one email I sent out last weekend, I've now got 22 people in my real estate segment, who are people who are clearly very interested. And it doesn't need to be a big number. The point is, it's a very qualified number. These are people who are really interested. And I can go through the list of people. I have the segment, saved in Kajabi where in 2 clicks, I can go look at the list of those exact 22 people. And I can often tell just from their email domain, like who's a realtor and who's an accountant or whatever. And the accountants are probably interested in serving real estate professionals, so they want to learn this stuff. And the realtors are interested in learning it, so they know how to do it themselves, so that even if they hire a bookkeeper, they know enough to know whether or not that bookkeeper knows what they're doing, right? And I always tell them that's really important. If you're going to hire somebody to do the bookkeeping for you, that's probably a good idea, so you can stay focused on what you do best. But you should know enough to know, to be able to evaluate whether that person is getting you, what you need, and whether those balance sheets and P&Ls that you're looking at actually look right, right? And so the list will grow. As I get closer to launching the course, I'll, like I said, pre-sell it based on some kind of an early bird discount. And again, having Kajabi makes this all very easy to set up and manage. If I was using anything else, there'd be a lot more separated moving parts. There's no way I can think of, without plugins that would probably break a lot, quite honestly, to be able to go into a MailChimp or a Constant Contact and send an email segmented only to people who own a certain product on my website. There's just no easy way to pass that information through, like I said, other than plugins. And in my experience, those plugins are just a disaster in WordPress. First of all, the more plugins you have installed on a WordPress site, the slower the site gets and the more susceptible it is to crashing, because over time, as you add a lot of plugins, they start conflicting with one another. And I'm speaking from direct personal experience here. What happens next is when your site crashes, you have to disable all of your plugins and one by one turn them back on to see which one is crashing your site. And then you have to remove that plugin, and then you have to figure out what are you going to do now that you can no longer use that plugin, you know, or maybe there's a workaround. Maybe you can reach out to the developers, assuming you've actually paid for that plugin. So, and not to mention all the updates. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I would log into my WordPress site and I would be going in to do one quick thing, but all of a sudden there's 10 updates I need to run. And I learned the hard way that you need to run those updates right away, because if you don't, you leave your site susceptible to hacks. And hackers can come in, and it's in every plugin's terms of service that if you do not update, they can't be responsible if somebody is able to hack into your website via their plugin. So in other words, I go in to do one thing that should take me 5 minutes. Next thing I know, I'm stuck in a 20-minute to half an hour, you know, rabbit hole of just updating plugins and waiting for them to update, and then updating themes and waiting for them to update. So with Kajabi, I don't have any of that. It eliminates all of those headaches. They take care of all of the IT related stuff. All I have to do is build the site and work on it. And I've done videos before that show you how to build pages in Kajabi. I'm going to be doing some more. So you know, so stay tuned for that kind of stuff. If you're wondering, well, how do you build this stuff? I promise you, it is ridiculously easy. You don't need to know any code. You don't even need to know any web design. You just need to know how to like click a button to add something and then browse to an image to add it. It's very, very simple. So again, having Kajabi makes this all very easy to set up and manage. And if I were using anything else, there'd be a lot more separated moving parts, and it would be very difficult to manage. Now, another thing I want to show you, because Kajabi has such a beautiful Zapier integration, I work with a company called B Squared Media, whom I highly recommend. They help me with Facebook and Google advertising. And each day they send me a list of leads that came in over the internet. And the reason we have this process set up the way that we do is we've done a lot of testing. I've been working with this company for, I think, almost 2 years now. And a lot of that time, especially in the beginning, was spent doing a lot of testing to see what different kinds of things worked and what got good results and what didn't. And of course, at one point, we were driving traffic to a landing page with an opt-in form. And for whatever reason, I don't presume to understand the psychology behind it. I only understand what I can see in the results. And for whatever reason, we found that when they created ads that have an opt-in form directly in that ad, it was just more effective. We got many more opt-ins from people. So I want to actually show you a process here that shows you how I've been able to build a beautiful automation, because like I said, what happens next is they have to send me a list each day of, you know, which leads came in over the internet. And sometimes I get a little bit behind in terms of, you know, doing my part of the update, which I should really be doing right away. So I'm going to show you a process here that's based on, you know, what I've been able to set up for that. So just going to get another couple of screens open here. There we go. So here's what happens. Each day, I get an email like this, and she says, you know, here's the latest lead since yesterday. Some days more than others, but on average, I'm getting anywhere between 5 and 15 leads a day as a result of this process. So she sends me this Excel file, and what I do is I label it B squared leads. Okay, what that does is that that triggers a zap that I've created. Okay, which actually drops those files right into this Google Drive folder I have. And you can see I've got about 3 days leads to catch up on here. Okay, they come in with a more generic name and I rename them until I, you know, get them over. So what I'm going to do is really quickly, I'm going to cut up one of these files. It takes me about 3 minutes to cut up the file, and then I'll show you the next piece in the process. But and again, what I want you to sort of keep in mind here is that this process is easy to build because of how Kajabi integrates with with everything, right? It's got a beautiful Zapier integration. So anything I can't do directly in Kajabi, whatever the reason, I can easily and quickly produce using Zapier. And in this case, I also have, I'm going to show you an Airtable project. So what I'm doing on my other screen, because I've got names and emails here, is I'm just quickly formatting this file so I can drop it into my Airtable project, which I'll show you next. So just 1 second here. I just have to split it up because the names come in with the full name in one column. So I have to split them into 2 columns so that the layout conforms to the way it is in Airtable. So now let's go to Airtable. Airtable. And b squared. All right, so I'm going to bring this in. I'm going to make it quick because, again, I better not. There's names and emails on here. So let me do it this way. All I'm doing is I've got the Excel spreadsheet cut up so that the columns conform exactly to a table I have in Airtable. I'm basically going to paste the names in. And now I can kind of show it to you because I've got names without email addresses. So here's the Airtable project, right? These are the recent ones that came in. And all I have to do now is I can actually just copy and paste. All I have to do is check them off here. And that's going to trigger another Zap, which is going to import them into Kajabi. And it's going to tag them with Seth's list. And it's also going to tag them B squared because this is how I know these are people who came in specifically because of B squared and their efforts, what they've done. So again, we found through lots of testing in the marketing that the best way to get the most people opting in for more information about Bulletproof Bookkeeping or whatever is through a direct opt-in form that's embedded into the ad. And then, and I don't know yet, I haven't really looked deeply enough, but it doesn't seem like there's a way to connect that directly to Kajabi. There may be. I don't know what their form is. I actually have a meeting with them next week, and part of the agenda is to go over that. But in the meantime, I've created a process because of how Kajabi is beautifully open to Zapier. I've created a process that makes it ridiculously easy. I get the email, I assign a label. Within a couple of minutes, that file shows up in my Google Drive folder, and in about 2 seconds, I can cut up that file, drop it into Airtable, and click the check marks or copy and paste the check marks down. So it's literally like 2 clicks. And then within a few minutes, they're going to be added into my database in Kajabi with all the tags I need so that I know exactly where people came from. And this is just important data to keep track of. If you're concerned with building some kind of a marketing or lead generation engine, and you want to use your website, and you want to have one central website that does all of this, then this is the way. This is the way to do it because you have a beautiful database. So I want to go back to something I said in the beginning, and then I'll see if we have any questions so far or comments. If you were using, all right. So first of all, the expense of Kajabi, right? The lowest plan I think is like $150 a month. So again, a lot of people I think think that's expensive, and it sounds expensive maybe on the surface. I don't think it is because it replaces whatever you'd be spending on an email marketing product like a MailChimp or a Constant Contact. It has all the features that those products have, lots of templates you can choose from to create the kind of emails that you want to send out. And then all the automation and all the ability for segmentation in terms of who's interested in what, right? And then just tracking. For example, if I was going to send out a promo today for the Bulletproof Bookkeeping course, let me show you something, how I do this. Okay, let's go into one of these pages, right? So let me go to the general email campaigns area. And let's say I want to send a new email out, okay? But it's going to be based on offering like a coupon code or a promo of some kind for Bulletproof Bookkeeping, right? So as you can see, I'm already into the process of triggering a new email campaign. This is just a one-off email that I'm going to send. It's not a sequence or anything, right? Get started, and I'll just put sample so I know what this was later. This is how easy it is. So what I can do is I already have a bunch of segments here, right? There's real estate, there's the S-Corp webinar, so that's anybody who had signed up for that. These are people who are in 97 and up, but haven't ever signed up for Bulletproof Bookkeeping, right? So maybe I want to send them an email and encourage them to sign up for Bulletproof Bookkeeping. This is people who are in Bulletproof Bookkeeping but haven't signed up for Bulletproof CFO. So you can see how I can get real specific about whom I'm sending a message to, so I can be real specific about what that message is, right? Or I can go here to custom segment. So if I want to send an email out to offer a promo for Bulletproof Bookkeeping with QuickBooks Online, I don't need to send that to people who are already signed up, right? A, they don't need it because they're already signed up, and B, well, they just don't need it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start building the filters that I need. I really need two. I need to have it be, or maybe three, right? So first, let's go with a tag, right? Where are my tag filters? So we're going to start with if they have any of the tags I'm going to define, which is just going to be all of Seth's list. I'll apply that. Okay. Then I need to add a segment. So let's again go with custom segment. All right, now I'm lost because I should be able to add more filters to this. So hold on, I may have jumped the gun on saving that. So custom segment, select filter. Seth's list, okay. Yeah, I need to apply that. Okay, then I'll need another custom segment. Actually, sorry, this should be easy. I know I've done this a million times and I don't know why I'm getting stuck here. Oh, there, add a filter. And I think that's recently changed. So here I need to add another filter. Whew. And then I need product-based filters, right? Products. So does not own products. Bulletproof Bookkeeping with QuickBooks Online. I'll apply that. And that's actually all I need. And it lets me know that's going to consist of 4,687 subscribers that match the filters. They don't own Bulletproof Bookkeeping, and they have the tag Seth list, which means essentially they're on my list. And I can go forward and send this email campaign and say, here's a coupon code for Bulletproof Bookkeeping. You know, use it, and I can put an expiration on the coupon codes. Speaking of which, let's go to products and offers. And here's how easy it is to create a coupon code. So I just give it a title. I associate it with a product, and you can change that. Sorry, this is to create a new offer. I meant to click on coupons. So coupons are here. New coupon. Bulk coupon codes are cool. This is what I've used where like CPA firms had reached out to me and said, hey, can we do like a volume licensing deal? So that bulk coupon codes lets me generate like 10 coupon codes. They're one-time use codes, and I can associate a 10% discount or whatever it is, so that if somebody says, hey, I want to sign 10 people up for your course, I can give them like a volume discount and give them 10 coupon codes and say, here are your 10 codes. They can only each be used once. That'll get the 10% off, and this is how your people can sign up, you know, for the course. A single coupon code is for just about any other situation. And the code itself will be the code that people use, and that's what I name it. And then I can do it as an amount off or a percent off, right? The duration, I can do it once, multi-month, or forever. And I can set an expiration here and say this is good through October 31st, right? So that's how easy it is to manage all of this, because again, I can create a very highly targeted segmented email group that I'm going to send to offer a code that's not going to go to anybody who doesn't need it. And as you can see, this is so easy to do. I got hung up for a second on where I had to go to add that extra filter. So again, the integration with Zapier makes it really easy to automate with other processes outside where and when necessary or applicable. But everything that I have contained within Kajabi makes it so easy to stay organized and manage and automate everything. I mean, you know how much time it saves me just to have that automated email sequence that I showed you at the beginning, because I don't have to, sit there and manually configure that and somehow find another way to track who's gotten which email so far and so on and so forth, right? It's just evergreen, and I can go in at any time and change an email, tweak the language. I can rewrite a whole other sequence in a separate area and then swap them to do some A/B testing. And I've done that kind of thing before, just to see which one sort of works better. Do I think Google Tables would work for the Airtable part of my workflow? It's on sale today, $119. I wouldn't mess with Google Tables yet. I've played with it. Matthew and I looked at it in our Squirrel of the Week last Sunday. It's cool, but it's not nearly as robust as Airtable is. And I don't know whether or not and what it's going to take to get it there, but I wouldn't necessarily rely on it. And considering it's in beta, I doubt if it's even available through Zapier just yet, right? So it probably is going to live in its own little universe for a little while they're developing it. Of course, yes, it has Google behind it. The other thing to be aware of is Microsoft now released Microsoft Lists. So obviously these big companies are seeing the writing on the wall. Airtable has created a very viable product, and now they want to, and for whatever reason, maybe they offered to buy Airtable and Airtable turned them down. So now they're just going to create their own competing products. So I like the idea of Google Tables. It's not, first of all, I don't like the interface nearly as well as I like Airtable's interface. And it's on sale for $119, but what does that mean? $119 for life, $119 a month, a year? Because Airtable's like $20 a month. So, okay, so it's per month. That's a lot. Oh, Kajabi's on sale, not Airtable. Wait, now you've confused me. What's on sale, Airtable or Kajabi? Okay, Kajabi. So hold off on that thought, because I would love for you to sign up for Kajabi through my affiliate link. And I'll check to see if one of my affiliate offers will give you a comparable deal. Obviously, if I can't get you as good a deal, then you should sign up for the better deal. But give me an opportunity to see if I can get you the same deal through my affiliate link, because I'd love to get credit for sending you to Kajabi. Would I talk about what a product and pipeline are for Kajabi? Okay, so products and pipelines are two completely different things. A product is just that. It's like when I want to create a course in Kajabi, I'll set up a product, and that course is the product. Okay, and then the other thing that you didn't ask about, but definitely worth mentioning, then you have offers. I can create 6 different offers that are linked to the same product for different purposes, right? So I can have one offer, for example, when I moved the 97 and Up program over to the Kajabi site, what I did was I had a lot of the original members of 97 and Up who had gotten in for $97 a month when it was priced there a long, long time ago. And so what I did was I created an offer that was sort of private. You wouldn't have found it anywhere on the website. And I emailed the link to the existing members who had been in on the WordPress site. And I said, use this link. Don't share it with anybody. This is how you'll get to be able to continue in the program for the same $97 that you've been paying. It was my way, of course, of rewarding people for being loyal and staying with me all of this time. So I had an offer that I created called 97 Originals, which is just my way of knowing these are the people who are the original members of 97 and Up. And then I had another offer that was just 97 and Up, which was at the new price, which is $197. And most people have signed up with the coupon code that gets it for $147. So you have products, then you have offers, which is how people sign up to get access to those products. And a pipeline is more of a marketing thing. So a pipeline is it can be an email sequence, like I just showed you at the beginning of the hour, that I've set up for when people opt in for my list, right? So that's sort of a pipeline, but truly a pipeline is something that involves, a series of, it's what you create, what a lot of people use outside of Kajabi, which is called ClickFunnels, right? So a pipeline is really like a funnel. So what a pipeline might consist of is it starts with a landing page, right? And there's going to be all kinds of marketing copy and bright red colors and usually arrows pointing at things that they want to get your attention on. And then there's going to be some call to action, maybe to fill out a form, or maybe even write straight to sign up for my $37 a month sort of introductory offer, right? And maybe that's for a simple like group coaching kind of program where you can get access to a Facebook group or a Slack workspace, okay? Then as soon as you sign up for that, it takes you to the next page, which says, hey, thank you so much. You've made the right call. I'm glad you signed up for this. And just as a reminder, you're going to get this, 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 and that. And if you act now, I have, so basically now you have an upsell. So you say, okay, if I'm glad you got in for $37 a month, but if you want to sort of upgrade for $197, I'll give you lifetime access to that product. I've seen this. I've been on the receiving end of this kind of thing, and it's very effective because it's like, wait a minute, do I want to pay $37 a month, or if I can get lifetime access for? In my case, I signed up for something like this, and it was $37 monthly, ongoing, or they upsold me to pay. It was $297. And for $297, I had lifetime access. And I said, well, that's a no-brainer, right? So I'll just take that because I just knew it was something I wanted to have access to and would want to use. So just having that permanent access, it was worth it to me to know I paid one price and that's it. Because subscriptions sometimes start to feel like you've written a blank check for something, right? But which, by the way, is why I decided to set up Bulletproof Bookkeeping and all of my major classes with lifetime access, right? Because I don't want people to feel like they're writing a blank check and they don't really know if they're going to use it every month. This way, you pay once, it's yours, you use it when you're ready to use it. So a pipeline will take people through a sequence of pages and also probably send out a sequence of emails together designed to get people from one place to the next, right? And so usually with a pipeline or a funnel, there's what they call a value ladder. So you start off at the $37 product, then it moves you up to the $297 product. And from there, if you sign up for that, there's usually going to be some, exclusive coaching program that's going to be $1,000 a month and so on. You just move people up the value ladder, and obviously as the masses move up that ladder, more and more people drop out at each level up, right? And you're going to get the smallest number of people at the highest rung on the ladder. But those are the people who really are like your diehard fans who really want to work closely with you and they want everything you can sort of offer them and help them with. This is the basic offer. This is the basic offer is why I asked the specifics, 3 products, 3 pipelines. That's what comes with the levels. I don't think there's anything special about the offer in regards to what you get. And 3 products and 3 pipelines is not even what you get for the $150 a month normally. I don't think. It could be. I'm at the next level up, which is $200 a month, which is, I get like 15 products. So that's the thing. When you look at the products, if you have 3 products, that means you're going to be limited to 3 courses. And if you're not looking to do courses, then it doesn't matter, right? And 3 pipelines is, I'll show you on my back end what a pipeline looks like. I haven't used pipelines in Kajabi because I do actually use ClickFunnels for that. But here's the pipelines page in Kajabi. So here's like a sample, and I was playing around with it for Bulletproof Bookkeeping. And so and they have templates for this. So this is exactly like I was talking about. So the pipeline is something like this. The pipeline is going to be designed to drive people through a process to get them to a specific place. So for you, it could be, to sign up for your bookkeeping services or to schedule a call to talk to them about what their options are for that, right? So first they opt in, they get this email, and that email drives them back to this page where there's maybe a video or some copy encouraging them to get on the phone with you. And then, finally it leads to the offer. This is a very kind of simplistic pipeline here, and so from here, you would just go into each of these pages or email templates and customize it. And then you'll get, the URL that you need to send people to kind of get them into this whole pipeline. So in here, you can see how easy it is. And they kind of guide you, describe the value. I'm not sure why my screen is cut off here. Let me refresh. And by the way, I've experienced 0 downtime with Kajabi since I've used them. So if you click on something like this, you can see it says edit, and then it shows on the right this little margin where I can easily edit the information. So where it says opt-in message, that's for this form. Over here where it says describe value, that's out here. Again, I don't know why my screen is cut off. What if I zoom out a little bit. There we go. It shouldn't be like this. It normally isn't. Most of these screens, like here, I can go full screen, so I can fill in that part and then come back and see what it's going to look like on the page here. So the editors in Kajabi even just make it really, really easy to design what the whole thing looks like. There's the background image. I don't normally work with this on my small screen, which is what I use for screen sharing. So rest assured, on a nice big widescreen like I have, this looks a lot better. But that's very quickly what a pipeline is all about. It's a marketing funnel that you can build in Kajabi. Up until now, I've used ClickFunnels for this, but I'm probably going to move it all over here because for a lot of the reasons I've already discussed this morning, it keeps a lot of things integrated in such a way that it's going to make everything easier. So I'll give you an example. When I did the Bulletproof launch earlier this year, I used ClickFunnels, and I used ClickFunnels to collect payments from people who wanted to sign up. And that's where I sort of started to regret it, because ClickFunnels has a beautiful integration with Kajabi, so I was easily able to collect the payments through ClickFunnels using Stripe, and then ClickFunnels passes the membership through to Kajabi, so it lets Kajabi know these people have signed up and for this offer, and then the offer that they've signed up for lets Kajabi know which courses they need to have access to. So that part was seamless, but the problem is now Stripe or ClickFunnels rather process the payments instead of Kajabi. So Kajabi knew about the people getting signed up for the courses that they needed access to, but it didn't know about the dollars. It didn't know about the sales. So my sales numbers in Kajabi did not reflect the people who signed up for that bonus program. So now, as I'm putting my own bookkeeping together even, I had to go to a separate place to kind of source the payments that came through for that 1 week sales period where I did the bonus program, and kind of integrate that into what otherwise is completely and beautifully tracked in Kajabi. And Kajabi has a great report that I normally just incrementally dump out of the site and add into an Excel sheet that's got a beautiful pivot table. And the export from Kajabi tells me exactly which product the person paid for. And I have a lookup in Excel that says, based on the product, here's the the QuickBooks account that it goes with, and so I can easily import the sales into QuickBooks Online. And also I run a beautiful pivot table that breaks down all the revenues by the appropriate categories for me. So I don't use QuickBooks to report on the details of my sales anymore. It's all beautifully laid out with Kajabi. QuickBooks just has kind of summary level. I have one customer for all this in QuickBooks called Kajabi Sales, right? Because I don't care. I don't want that data in QuickBooks Online because Kajabi just does such a beautiful job of giving me the reporting that I need on it. So Kelly, I'll make a note of all of this in the chat and just make sure that one of my affiliate programs, I'm sure that I have access to giving you the same offer through my affiliate program, but I'll confirm. Let me just make sure I've saved the chat. Okay, so that's the chat. Let me check in on live Facebook. Let's see if we have any questions or comments there. Carmen says, sold me on Kajabi. I have mine in Teachable for now. I tried to tell you a long time ago. I tried to tell Mariette. She didn't want to listen. She went with Teachable. Katrina says, nice artwork. Thank you, Katrina. And Katrina posted here on Facebook that the Kajabi plans are on sale right now. I didn't even know that, honestly. So it was just good timing on my part. So I will, I'll get those links out to you. I'll just confirm that through my affiliate plan. I can get you the same offers. I would never ask you to pay more just for me to get credit. So I'll make sure that you can get the same deal through me. If not, I'll let you know that you can't get the same deal through me. And then I'll say, go ahead and sign up directly with Kajabi. But I'll get on that like right away after this call so that you don't have to wait in case you want to jump on it, because I don't know what kind of expiration they have on these plans. Larry DeForest sent me an apple. Thanks, Larry. Thanks for the apple. What kind is it? Is it a pink lady? Or is it Gala? Anyway, you know how to find me if you have any questions. So if you have any questions, find me and ask them. But that's about all I've got for you for today on Kajabi and building and automating your online marketing engine. I have a few more minutes. I'll stick around in case anybody does want to unmute and ask any questions.
I asked one more question in the chat.
How do I set up sales again in QBO? Sub-accounts of Kajabi sales per type of, no, again, I don't put any of the details in Kajabi. I have one customer called Kajabi sales. And when I do the import, like I said, in my spreadsheet, I've got it configured for the import such that it looks up the QuickBooks item based on the offer that was purchased in Kajabi. I have like a VLOOKUP. So I have a table in the same spreadsheet template that based on the offer, it looks up the item in QuickBooks. So I have items in QuickBooks. So if somebody signs up, I don't care. There's 10 different offers that I've probably created over the past year for different ways of accessing Bulletproof Bookkeeping with QuickBooks Online. I don't want 10 different items in QBO for that. I have one item for anybody who signed up for Bulletproof Bookkeeping with QuickBooks Online. So the lookup table takes all those different offers that people may have paid for, and it looks up the one item that I want them linked to, so that when I do the import, it's going to create sales receipts with the item linked, so it tracks sales. So I do want to track the Bulletproof Bookkeeping course separate from 97 and up. So there's different items for that, but there's basically going to be one item per product in QBO. So in QBO, I just have it tracked based on the total sales for that particular product or program that I offer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, the second part of my thing was, or do you use items? So you just answered my question.
Yeah, well, because, of course I'm going to use items because I'm importing sales receipts, right? So it has to be items. And that's how I want it, because I do want to use items because each product that I have in Kajabi, not offer, but each product, each course, each template, each subscription like 97 up that I sell, each of those gets its own product in the products and services list. What I don't want is I don't want to track all the different versions of the different offers I've created as separate items in QBO. That would just be ridiculous overkill in terms of the level of detail, right? So when I dump that export out of Kajabi, I have the VLOOKUP that looks up the offer and figures out which item in QuickBooks it should use. So you'll see that same item repeated for every offer that essentially points to the same product. And then that item is what's used in the sales receipt when I do the import into QBO. And of course, that drives it to the appropriate line item on the P&L.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. And so that's the thing. This has even simplified my accounting dramatically, because when I was doing this stuff with WooCommerce, anytime I created another offer, or a discount, or a deal, I had to create another item really to track it properly. It was a mess compared to what I can do in Kajabi. It's just, so again, it might seem expensive to use Kajabi, but I swear to you, it simplifies so many things and makes things so much more efficient that I can almost guarantee you, when you consider the time factor and how much cleaner everything is and how many fewer products you actually need working together when you're using Kajabi, I can almost guarantee you that once you're using Kajabi for, let's just give it 6 months, you're going to agree, especially if you're using all the features of Kajabi like I do, there's going to be no doubt in your mind that this is saving you money over using like WordPress and MailChimp and 6 other plugins that you would need, probably more than 6, to make this all happen. So it looks like, well, WordPress is a lot less expensive. I paid $300 a year for my hosting and it's all just there. But then you got to pay for a shopping cart, and then you got to pay for plugins to make all the pieces of the shopping cart work properly. I guarantee you, this is going to save you money, especially when you add in the factor of how much time it saves you, because so much of the process is seamless when you're working with Kajabi as your web platform. And you're also going to find it's so much easier to design and build pages and things. You won't need to pay a web designer if that's what you have to do now to do that for you. And for that matter, you won't have to wait until the web designer is available. And then you won't have all the back and forth with the web designer about all the things that they need to do differently because they didn't listen to you or didn't get the instructions right or you didn't communicate it well. There's all that back and forth that's gone because you can really do this yourself. Or at least, like I said earlier, that we often say to our own accounting clients, like, you want to know enough about bookkeeping so that you have an idea of how it works, and then you can hire a bookkeeper. Similar idea here. You may not want to be designing websites in Kajabi even for yourself, but it's easy enough to use that you'll be able to learn it well enough that if you're hiring, and there are a million Kajabi consultants out there, if you go onto their Facebook page, who that's all they do is help, they're like virtual assistants who know Kajabi that can help you all day long. I can help you, although with me it's not necessarily cheap, but I'm happy to help and support you guys, in some one-on-one if you need some help getting set up. Those of you who are in 97 and up know that if you're in 97 and up, you get the one-on-one discounted with me. So take advantage of that, and I can help you, get your Kajabi site set up and running. I think with no more than 5 sessions with me, you will definitely have everything you need to know, not to mention 5 hours of videos recorded with me that you can review anytime that will help you do whatever you need to know how to do once you're in Kajabi.
So I'm looking at their help center. So just to get, you know, some basic understanding, I guess this is free. Anyone can access their help center.
Well, yeah, of course, because that's kind of a way when you're in their help center that they kind of promote their product, right? When you can see, hopefully what you're going to see is that it's really easy to do. And by the way, their support is amazing. And their help center in general, like when I'm in Kajabi's backend, when I wanted to learn how their affiliate system worked, all I had to do is type affiliate program in the backend search, and it instantly took me to exactly where I needed to go to learn what I needed to learn about how to set up the Kajabi affiliate program. So you know how I invite all of you to be affiliates, so that if you refer somebody to sign up for 97 and up or Bulletproof Bookkeeping, I pay a commission for those referrals. That's all very easy to set up in Kajabi, and it was easy to learn how to do it because they do have amazing help files.
Another point I think is really important is from the user perspective, is I've taken a couple courses now on Kajabi, and it's so easy. If I see a course hosted there, I kind of already know the workflow or my experience is going to be great. The content also has to live up to that, but I think that also is a great selling point as far as the ease of use if I'm coming as a client or a customer to the course.
Yep. In fact, to your point, Kelly, specifically, one of the main reasons I switched to Kajabi when I did was I was encouraged very strongly by somebody who had been in my courses when they were built on WordPress. And she said to me, she said, Seth, I've seen your courses and you need to go to Kajabi. That was essentially the message. She's like, Kajabi is just so much cleaner. It's like you just said, Kelly, it's a much better experience for the user. She's basically like, you have to look into it. And as soon as I took a peek myself and looked at how the courses were laid out, that's one of the reasons why I made Nerd Buzz into a course, because Kajabi does have a blog area where I could easily just put free blog posts out there. But I loved the layout of a course so much and how easy it made it for me to make it easy for you to understand how to browse the content. It was like at that point I said, I want to do the course. I want to do the blog as a course, which meant you have to have an account on my site to access it. And I asked Kajabi about this, and what they told me exactly what to do. They said you can create you use a product to create the blog, which is really a course, and then you create an offer that's free. When you create a free offer, somebody has to put in their name and email, but they don't need any credit card or anything. It's free checkout, and once they check out, they have access to the course, right? So it just all the way around, customer experience over to user experience. It's beautiful. It's seamless. I strongly recommend it. I've been in Kajabi now for almost 1.5 years, and I would never, ever, ever go back to WordPress. Ever. Did I say ever?